Why, hello there, everyone out in Trainland. We've got a few people here. 7 people. And I forgot my hat. Let me get my hat. Here in the train room today. As I will be probably next week. Let's see. Haven't said anything. Okay. Yeah. So let's go. Welcome to Rocky Off the Rails, episode 42. Talking about the control panel update. Of course, I didn't get any B-roll for that, so I might have to do something creative with the camera to show things. But let's see who all we have here. We've got Kevin Brown. Good morning, Kevin. Good afternoon. Getting back on track with Steve. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I've been enjoying your updates. JP, good morning. Dwight, Curly Express, he is here. Dan in Ohio, he is here. And let's see, so we got, that's it right now for the moment. That's in the chat. So, yeah, it is July 21st, I think. Yep. This is the 42nd show. Brad, Will Creek Industrial Spur. Welcome. You do get up early for sure. And Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Welcome. And we can't forget our friend Rocky. Rocky says hello, and he's standing in front of the prizes for the drawing. That's in 2 weeks. Have you got your entry in? If you don't, you should, because it's free. No cost to you. And that's how you enter right there. You switch back to the big view. That's how you enter right there. Send an email to greatnorthernjj@gmail. Mention the mascot name that I just said and your preferred scale, N scale, HO, or otherwise. Do that by July 4th. And you could be in the drawing that we will have on the show, the After the Layout Photos show at 9:10 on July 5th. Okay. So, oh, look at that. I see my green screen. There we go. I need to figure out if this little leg behind here is not helping us. There we go. Maybe. And yeah, we got another thing going on today. So we transition that camera around to look at the green screen. But yeah, we can see the city of Los Angeles is pulling through past a sitting military train. Let me see. Wow, we got lots of comments since then. Pete's here. Hey, welcome, Pete. Julianne's here. Welcome, Julianne. Let's see, did I miss anybody else? No, I think I got everybody. Okay, so we'll switch back. But not before. I'm going to do a little hand of God here. And I've got 2 of those center depressed flat cars. This is not the correct way to carry an Abrams tank, but I could not find any other 6-axle flat cars available to me. You'll also see that behind that, I have another thing. It's called a Dragon Wagon. And that would have been used to carry tanks, not necessarily the Abrams. Let's see, we could put an Abrams on there and pull it. Although I'm not sure, I think it's a 40-ton flat trailer. And then the last thing that I did get was, you can see here, is the correct scale Bradley M2 fighting vehicle. So let's go back over here, and I'll go into some other things I picked up. Actually, I got from Midwest Model Hobbies. More things to operate my my intermodal yard. Got a semi truck here. It's a Volvo, and there's a chassis along with a container. Kind of nice. And I picked up this. It's going to go into the Helix, because the Helix is also going to be, I'm going to have a monitor on there to tell me what level the trains are in. And this is a BDL 716. This one piece can monitor 16 tracks itself. So it's much like the BDL 168 that I have monitoring this staging yard. Hey, Kyle, welcome. And I'd like to watch your updates on your expansion in your garage there. Everybody's making good progress on their layout. Let's see. So with that, let's go over to this other view a little bit farther out, and we can see 2 of me. But with 2 of me, we can actually see down in that photos, we can see the functional and labeled control panel. So after this show, there will be no more shows about that dang layout control panel for the staging yard that, as JP says, is just an excuse not to do the second level. Yep. Let me see what I can do. I'm about getting a closer view of that. I can detach this camera over here. We'll go into helicopter mode. Let's see what I can do here. Should be a easy thing to do, and it is. And I'll come down here, take a closer look at that. So as I demonstrated before, each one of these switches controls the green lights are the power, and they're labeled track 1 through 6 up to 10 here. And then there's the alternate ones over here, A, B, C, D, and there's another one over here, E. And you can see we just now had the train. The City of Los Angeles is on track 3 here. And I've got another train, that military train on track 4, so the red lights indicate occupancy. Over on this side, the yellow lights indicate that there's power on those tracks. That's just a helpful reminder. Power switch and saying we got live power here. And then each one of these controls turnout. So I can switch that and the light switch as well as the point switch. And then you can see that turnout 1, 3, 14, and 15 are all thrown. And that's what you need to get into track 3 and run it continuously. So I'm not painting this right now. I don't know when I'll paint it. That might be far in the future, so I just decided to label it. Another feature on the layout right now is that all the turnouts have these little stickers that are below here, as well as the posts there. So if you can't read those, you probably can't read these either, because these letters are pretty small. So maybe I'll change the font on these and make it bigger. There's the city of Los Angeles coming right by us right now. We'll follow that around. So live drone shot to come out of the staging yard. And that's it. So we'll go back up and put this back into the tripod. And we'll get back over and see what everybody else is talking about in the chat. Well, I was over there on the other camera. Paint, yeah, we're not going to paint that. Not for a while. It's serving its function right now, and guess what? I don't have fascia boards on yet either, so I will at some point. That's why I just did these turnouts. Every place there's a turnout, there's a little sticker. It's just a reminder of which one controls whatever. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, JP. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so that's what's been keeping me busy. I mean, I looked back and layout update number 32. Was it 32? This control panel has been going on for a while. So it's nice to have all of the, hey, Klondike, good afternoon. Is there an SOP? Standard operating plan? No, I don't think so. Standard operating plan in my layout is no plan. Now, yeah, so with that done, really the next major project on the layout is really going to be, oh, wait. I have a detachment here. We're going to have to stop the city of Los Angeles because a long time ago, the train came undone. Great. I don't have time to deal with that right now. So we lost the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. Got detached quite a while ago on the downhill side, and the train was about to go and run into the back. I just noticed that the observation car was not on there. Okay, well, there's always something. Steve, JJ want to be able to power or shut down particular unused tracks. Yes. Yes. So Digitracks you showed, does that run through the panel? Not being the DCC guy, not sure what it does. The Digitracks you showed. So just a brief summary of what I've got involved in that panel. So there is a block detection device made by Digitracks called a BDL 168. It detects It detects things going on up to 16 tracks. I have 15 of those indicated here. Then I've got 2 turnout controls that control 4 turnouts. They're called a DS74. I have 2 of those. They control a total of 8 turnouts. You saw on the control panel. Let me switch back over. You can see, if you could see those little tiny white pieces with the green or the other green or red parts with the switch in it, that has controls 8 turnouts, 4 a piece. So that's really the DCC aspect to that control panel. The other things I've got going on here is much like in a DC world, I decided that in the staging yard, if I had locomotives sitting there, that I didn't want them potentially powered on all the time when I was running, especially if some were sound or something like that. So it is possible for me to turn off power to all 15 of those tracks via those toggle switches that are there. Just something I decided to do. To be honest, it was a lot more work than I set out to do. The control panel was just one aspect of it. The other thing was that there's a lot more wire running underneath the layout in this area right now, because every single, let's see, we do something called a home run. We do a home run with this, and home run wiring requires that one track, the track A, there's 2 tracks, A and B in DCC world. A is sorry, I was looking at this. This crane is not level. This dragon wagon. So A is the track detection side, and then there's a common wire called track B, and that one's still wired largely like it was before, but there's some difficulties. There's a lot more wires now. Instead of where you would have had one bus wire, you now have potentially 16 mini bus wires. So that makes a lot of wires. Yep. So let me see if I can get that train running again. I might be able to do it. Hey, Papa John's Trains, thanks for joining us. Got caffeine, can say morning all. Yep, I've got my caffeine here. I can barely talk. And Pete says, I have the same setup for my tracks in my engine facility, but I got the idea from DG Modelworks. I'm not sure if he makes videos anymore. I have not seen him around. So let's see. Yeah, we went over some things. I did get, along with this last week, I did get a second second Abrams tank. So my collection is growing. And if I set this aside, we've got this nice low boy. Well, that would be in trucking world. 6-axle center depressed flat car. It's got some heft to it. Its frame feels metallic with some plastic where the wood parts would be. So it's not gonna jump off the track due to lack of weight. So that's a good thing. I have two of those. This is the cotton belt version, and I have a GTTX, I think it is. So, okay, Dwight says DG makes videos about once a year. Okay. And again, for everybody who has joined but has not entered into the contest, what is the contest? So we will go back over and talk about the prizes for the contest, and I will switch the camera around so we can see them. For those of you that don't know. And we have one of the winners for last year's contest is currently watching. Steve, getting back on track with Steve, won the sibling to this one right here. It's another, let's see, what is it? It's GP40, yep. And its number is 501. And the N scale version of that same one in the Atlas is GP40, and it's also number 501. And then second place prizes are polo shirts. Hey, that's okay, Papa John. You know, you can still enter the contest if you win the grand prize for the non-HO and N scales. As I said before, I would work something out with the winner. So go ahead and enter. You can win not only the grand prizes, which are those two locomotives, which are DCC ready. Both of them are DCC ready. And both are, I think, in the Atlas Masters series. Steve can talk to that. I want the goat. Well, if you wanted a goat, I can make that happen. I think I could probably find him again on eBay. Not on eBay. I got it on Amazon. He'd probably send you a goat. Rocky could have another thing. So, yeah, Steve knows. Steve has had that. I think it's 515 is the sibling to this one. It's been featured in several of his videos as he's testing his track and running around. He's got 3 different loops there. Go check out Steve's channel. And then finally, I've got the train tape. And that's this measuring tape, but it's in N scale or HO. Sorry, there isn't a G scale version of this. There you go, N scales and HO. So you could easily measure. How long your train is to figure out scale types of things. So this military train right here is 440 feet long. Not even a tenth of a mile. Hey, Steve, great to see that you're entering the contest. I forget how many people we have total. I think we have about 10 to 12 people are entered right now. I don't recall the exact numbers. Yeah. So what else do we have going on in the layout? I extended the yard lead out of these 4 center tracks so it can go a lot farther. I have to actually join that track together, which I haven't done yet, but I have laid the cork roadbed down. How tall is a side of a loco from the walkway to the top? All right. So here's the question from the walkway to the top there in N scale. All right. Here we go. Drum roll, please. It looks to be, depending on where I check it at, near the front, it is 7 feet. And then as it steps down, it's 9.5 feet. And then there's a center part where it's about 8 feet. So it depends where you check that. Either here, up here, it's about 7 feet right out of the cab. Then as it goes down that step, it goes down the step here, about 9 to 10 feet. And then it comes back because this part of the locomotive is lower. For that, yeah. It's an SP too. I thought you'd appreciate that, JP. It's a dirty old SP. I think it's an Ace. And I might be wrong. Okay, so yeah. That's the train tape. You can also find these guys sells these on eBay. There's a huge box of them at my train store. Doesn't appear like a lot of people are buying them, I guess, or they've got a lot. I pointed out your good taste earlier in the chat. Okay, I missed that as I was busy doing something. Probably obsessed by the fact that some reason my train has come uncoupled. That irritates me. Seeing as it is in a place where, yeah, we're not going to go over there on the live show and recouple it. So we just have to deal with the fact that the train is not running at the moment. But that's next week, right? Running trains is next week. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I am going to talk about this. So this model is called a Dragon Wagon. They made it so that they could drive them in military areas and drag tanks and haul tanks out of places. Hey, fans of trains 5972, thanks for joining. So they had this. There's a little tiny small mini crane here. It couldn't lift up. It certainly couldn't lift a tank up. So they must have another thing. I need to paint these. These were 3D printed. It seems like Microtrains is doing that quite a bit. There's some prep work there. They come attached to all the structures of the 3D print. So I had to detach those. Then here's the flatbed. It's not fully assembled yet, but I do have the legs are sitting on there. the ramps are sitting on there, and then the wheels are not yet attached. The axles are not attached, but I'm waiting. I'm going to paint these up. Try not to break these brittle parts. So throw some primer on these. I'll throw some primer on these and then paint these. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. I might paint them this desert tan, much like that Abrams or Bradley. It's a nice detail on that. Forget the manufacturer of these, but they actually do a pretty good job. And if I recall, I had one of these things, but it's more of a toy. So I bought this for like $10. Somebody was selling these, but I wish I hadn't bought it because there's nothing to compare it to. But this is a real 87th. This might be some other scale, which I don't know. I'd say this is about 10 to 20% larger. So this is about 140, 144. Yep. So, and these parts, they do not. Oh yeah, it does. It does rotate. But I think this could be already set up for transport. So yeah, that's what I've got. These things are, and again, here's that Abrams tank, and I had it in transport. So tanks, when they transport, because the gun barrel sits out in front and they don't detach that, this is when they're fighting. And then for transport, you'll see them going down on trains like this, where they've got the gun barrel pointed toward the back. This is actually the least protected part of the tank, other than the tops. Most protected are going to be front armor. I used to be obsessed by military stuff. Not as much anymore, but I actually broken my promise. I said I wasn't gonna go. Hey, Closet Branch, welcome. It's a background tank. And then another thing I got to paint. I was going to paint this up military colors, but I don't think I will. I tried running this on a flat car, and guess what? I think usually you wouldn't run, while you would run the tracked part of it, you would probably detach the blade before they ran it, because it significantly overhangs the flat car. And with that, it tends to catch some things, which I might have mounted too close to the rails. Those little posts to tell me the turnout controls. Some of them might be too close, and every time the train would go around on the loop, it would dump that bulldozer onto the ground. Luckily, it was the last thing in the train. Okay, yeah. So that's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. I do have another update that I will be shipping out if he's watching. He's not watching right now. But Dave over at DB Tech, I found those trolleys for him. Specifically, he was looking for a Coney Island Tyco trolley in HO that he'd been repairing on another show. I will be shipping those out. Let's see, is the post office open today? If it is, I might make a run over there. Otherwise, it'll be next week sometime. But yeah, shipping those out. He commented he's very excited to see that in one piece, and hopefully he actually did tell me that he now knows how to take the rivets out of those things and get access to it, even if they're riveted together, uh, and definitely get those back over to him and see if he can get that running. There's actually two that I'm going to ship to him. I've got a Broadway, which apparently is probably the most common one, and then I've got the okay, yeah. I just don't know if they close like at 12 o'clock or something like that, because well, I could get over there in time. Just need to get the label, not the label, but the print up of the address, and then uh, tape it shut, take it over there. Yep. And then that could be on its way to Dave at DB Tech, and maybe in the future or one of his streams, he'll show that. What else did I get done? I actually got, if you see this camera moving around, it's because I finally implemented my little pull-out workbench, and it's on rails. No, it's on sliders. So you can see that I've got these nice, they actually come out to 2 feet, but since this piece of plywood that I've got here is only a little bit over a foot, I think it's more like 16 inches. Yeah, so this pulls out, and then when it's not in use, it slides back under the layout and still has clearance for my cabinets below. So a nice little addition there. And what's thing that's always lacking on every model railroad is a flat space. Hey, welcome to the show, Wesley. Glad you could make it. You know, Wesley's one of these people that watches every single video that I put out, and I appreciate it very much. One of the most involved people next to Dwight Curley. And I'm going to drink for you. Wesley's always there and always making nice comments about the videos. So where was I at? So let's talk about what we got coming up in the next 2 weeks. So next week is the last Saturday, so we'll be running trains. We'll be back in the layout room here. And for those who don't know it, it's very tight in here. So the green screen is actually right behind me. So I'm not actually standing outside. Of course, that is my picture of the 1616. A nice locomotive. Nice job that UP did there. So running trains next week. I have functional layout. We might even comment about getting the turntable up and running again, because it's been giving me an error code. I need to figure out that and reset it and figure out why it's not working, and then get some locomotives there going in and out of the engine house and get that control panel over there running again, because after all the rewiring that I did, yeah, I had disconnected some of that. Then what's up next? Probably to redo the wiring. Well, I rebuilt the Helix. Since then, I have not had the Helix running. So it'll be time to go and okay. Thanks for joining us, Papa John. these are the next shows. So we've got more wiring projects still to go there. And I'm actually working on, maybe I will take a brief exit over to the other room where I have a sketchbook. Coming over back to the game room. Where I've been just hand sketching stuff during the attempts to do it in Rail Model and Pro right now. But I've been sketching up this, and I've got some graph paper and things coming. But this is the sketch, just an informal sketch of the second level right now. I don't have dimensions yet. Yeah, I need a reason to run the Helix. Well, Helix needs to be able to run in order to get to the second level. So I've got a few things that I'm out here, and some of these names are actual names that you'll find in and around Oregon. So one of those is there's an interchange yard that I'm going to have right as you come off the Helix. Interchange track or tracks. I can go from staging to the yard. So the first little town or junction it would come to, I'm going to name Roy. So Roy is a name of a little town or a little village west of here. Might have also been involved and had we want Helix. Okay, so Roy is a little town, and then two of my other friends who have passed recently. I've got to the end of that. Let's see. So Roy is down here. Here, this is closest to the Helix over here. It'll come up and around this way, and then that branch line will end over here in kind of maybe a lumber facility. Not a lumber facility, but maybe the sawmill or something like that. A few tracks to do some switching. And then the double track main line will come do a loop. It will have on this other side over here, they'll have a little yard which will be right in front of me in the second level here. At least that's the thinking. I'll have to see how that's going to work as far as the geometry. It's easier to sketch this, but I'm going to start doing sketch at some scale to get some better ideas. But this one over here is called Reedville in honor of a professor of mine who passed away recently. His first name is Reed. And the other little end where the sawmill will be at is going to be called Parkdale. And that's in honor of a friend of mine, Steve Park, that passed away last year. My little honoring of friends I've lost. So at least that's on the second level. And then, of course, there's still opportunities for more stuff up on the third level. But we're not going to talk about the third level until we get the second level, at least with track, right? So it is going to be, the main line is going to be stayed together as it comes around the room above the staging. And then it'll come around this loop over here. So where Rocky is standing, it'll come loop around, see where the windows are in back of him, make a turn, and then split right in front of me here. And then it will reverse itself and reconnect. So this is upside down, but let's go this way. Yeah, so I'm sitting right about here right now. So you can see it's going to come around, loop around itself, and then head back out. And that's because I've decided pretty much I'm doing semi-operational. Yeah, and I can't really do a no licks. There's just too much. There's too much uh, difference between the two levels here. If I do it in 160th scale, just between these two levels here is in scale 217 feet. So if you convert that back, it's over. Where is my tape measure? I think all my tape measures are downstairs. I do have a yardstick, but I'm not going to go get it. Steve 87, welcome to the show. We're gonna go turn the camera around and show Steve things that Steve would be interested in, which is vehicles. Look at those lovely vehicles that we've got on the train there. We got two Abrams, we got a Dragon Wagon, we got a Willys Jeep right here, little tiny guy, Dragon Wagon, Bradley fighting vehicle, and an oversized, I think 1/44th scale probably. And back here, got a bulldozer. So yeah, lots of things going on there. Oh, and of course, I've got that Volvo highway truck. Pull the chassis out of the yet to be worked on interchange area, which is going to be on the staging level here. Yeah, so the idea is that, there isn't, I mean, this room is actually fairly big. I didn't measure it before, but just square dimensions, it's almost 19 feet lengthwise, and from the door to the windows, 16 feet. But there's a big cutout because the door extends farther from the main wall. So there's about a couple feet lost there. And there's this big cutout where this big dormer comes down. And so that main area over there where the helix is at is like 10 feet across. So it's kind of was a challenging thing to put layout along almost all the walls, which I've done. But I don't have one along the wall in back of me, so you can actually walk in here unobstructed all the way past the windows. You've got that kind of, and for a layout where I don't imagine that I'm going to have 10 people over. Pete can comment on it. It gets a little tight, but it's not less than 2 feet anywhere. I think I do have aisleways that get down to 2.5 feet. This front one is 3.5 feet, so it actually makes a good place there. And as the levels get up, it's going to block the view, which I also have to wonder what is the heating and cooling going to be like when the room gets more divided up by just the layout itself. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff coming. I'd hope to make a lot more progress in the summer, but I haven't yet. But now we're in the summer. We are in the summer now. No excuses, right? Well, other than work and family and whatnot. So as long as you have a step aside type aisles aren't all that bad. Yeah, there's some areas where we can actually step out of the way The going into the far end of that layout over there. Yeah, hot. Hot. There's a new level of hot now. There's a new level of hot, and it's called 100. Yeah. So yeah, I also like the setup that Steve has got in his. I think it looks like a basement. Yeah, 15 by 16. But I'm an N scale and you're HO. But yours is a true 15 by 16. And mine is a little bit more divided up. It's still a lot of room here. And I do wonder about how much weight I'm putting on this floor. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I saw that you've got walls up that divide up that basement. Coming along really nice down there. I do recommend this. If you've got concrete floors, you can go and find those. They're tiled. They're interlocking squares of foam. They're about half an inch thick, but it does make a difference if you're standing on that a lot um, on the floor. I used to have that in my garage, and it was helpful. Gets a little bit more cushion down there, and you can actually take them up, or you can stick them down with double stick tape. It's a nice thing. So let's see. We're getting close to the end here. I'll call out and say, like I said, what we got going up the next 2 weeks. Train running, real train running, and figure out why the train decoupled. And it's probably will be an interesting discovery. I'm probably going to find out there's something lurking. Yeah, concrete gets hard and cold on the feet. Yeah, and especially, us that with older feet. Okay, Pete says construction update. Scenery work has begun. We have plaster cloth mountains now. Cool. Can't wait to see some pictures of that and show those or see those over on Facebook. Wow, my phone is getting extremely hot. Maybe it's because the camera has been on for all this time. Let's see. Are we still getting audio? Yeah, looks like we are. Okay. Yeah, decoupled along the back of the wall. Yeah, that's because it's coming out of like a little mini S curve coming out. So due to the geometry of that, I mean, I already realigned that, did a huge realign to get that to get the double crossover as far away from the throat of the yard, so we could have good train length. It's in the 90s here and no AC. Wow, that's something. I thought you had an AC, Dwight. Okay, it's going to be an interesting show tomorrow. Going to be interesting on Dwight's show tomorrow. So Dwight has a show coming up in just a little bit over 25 hours from now. Be sure to check out Dwight Curly Express. No AC. I have a portable one, but I think it would cost a slight fortune to ship that to you. So I won't be doing that. So I think we're going to wrap up this show. Show number 42. Wow. In 16 weeks or so, right before October, we'll be doing show 52. Well, no, just 10 weeks, not 56 weeks. 10 weeks to show 52. Time is flying. So that's only 2.5 months from now. And so, yeah, want to say we'll switch the camera back over, show those prizes, and turn Rocky around, facing the camera. There we go. Rocky says, time to go. He's standing in front of those locomotives that we're going to give away. And we're going to give them away in this summer. So, yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to enter. So, if you're still watching, which you have to be, thank you if you're watching still not live. But, yeah, let me hide that comment. We'll go back to this. Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to the summer heat here in the Inland Empire. Yeah, you are. It does not stay very cool east of LA. Okay, so we'll go back to the main view. We're going to wrap this up. Train running next week for episode 43. Episode 44, the big grand prize drawings and all the drawings. So we got 6 things we're drawing for this time. And yeah, we're back in February here. It's only 50s, in the 50s today, as Pete reminds me. So yeah, I might make a track. I just went to Tammy's yesterday, but I might go again today to pick up some. I need to check. I don't think I've got the military paints that I need to paint up these models that I've got here to paint. So anyways, that's what we've got going on. Don't know what's going on for the rest of July. We'll figure something out. Probably around the Helix stuff to get that solved and squared away. The turnout area, the engine facility, is deserving of some love, including buildings. There's a couple more buildings that are there that I've got all the pieces all cut out of the sprues, but not assembled, not painted. So I do need to get my ass in gear and do some painting. Yeah, no excuses. It's summertime. It's the best time to probably go and paint in the garage. Definitely not waiting for it to get super hot or super cold and muggy. There. Okay. So what do we say? Yep. We're gonna wrap this up. I'll be back. That's all I got for this one. That's all I got. So you all have fun running your trains, doing your hobbies, taking it easy. Make sure to make time for yourself along with everything else. It's good for the head, good for the body, good for everything. Okay. We will see you on the next one next week or around train stuff tomorrow. I'm probably on Dwight's show in the morning or the afternoon for him, and in the evening on Sidetrack Sunday, which I don't remember who is doing that. Until next time, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.